Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors to Daily with Doc. Yes, we are a live Zoom and we have a live audience. If you would like to be part of our live audience, feel free to join us. dailywithDocZoom.com. We do air this or record this or stream this, rather, from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. That is usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday right now, and we will be going back to more days. So make sure that you go to our website, dailywithdoc.com. That is the sponsor of today's program and every Daily with Doc. And we do have a way that you can sign up for our email list and stay connected with us. We send out a weekly email that goes through the previous week's shows descriptions to make it easy for you to find information and share it with those you know and love. So folks, you are in for a day of figuring out. Okay, actually Dr. Wallach figured this out. He has come up with the guide to weight loss and weight loss freedom. Folks, there's a lot of different fad diets, yo-yo diets that keep you going up and down, up and down, up and down. But the man that we have with us has discovered that the underlying causes to why we hold on to weight, why we eat, why we have different cravings is different than what media and the general USDA wants you to think that it is. Now, this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are our products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you give the body what it needs, the body can do some amazing things. And we have one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics here to guide us. Now, epigenetics may not be a word that you've heard of before, but epigenetics is the science that has proven the genetic theory of transmission of disease to be incorrect. So just because your foremothers had something going on in their life does not mean that you have to, because what we put into our bodies, what we have in our diets affects our gene expression. Now, you can't see Dr. Wallach right now, but he is holding up a book, and this book, Epigenetics, tells all about how you have more control than you think you do about what's going on in your body. So epigenetics, by the depth of the genetic theory of disease transmission, by Dr. Joel Wallach and Dr. Ma Lan and Dr. Gerhard Schwauzer. Schwauzer? Schwauzer. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. You can get your copy of Epigenetics at drjwallach.com.
That is back cover of the book.
Hold on. Just a minute. You can get Dr. Wallach's books at drjwallach.com, your one-stop shop for getting all of Dr. Wallach's publications, his books, his CDs, his DVDs, and all information that is empowering to you on what you can do within your own lives to become your health authority. Now, what he wanted me to show you is the back of the book that shows Dr. Schwauzer handing him the medal that is awarding him for all of his work in the research that he has done. Which, Dr. Wallach, let me pull you up on the screen and you tell me a little more about this picture right here.
Okay, well, this was for the Klaus Schwartz Award, okay, and it was primarily for discovering the cause, prevention, and cure for birth defects, okay, including the
Sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS,
No,
cystic fibrosis.
cystic fibrosis, you get an A plus. Okay.
I knew I'd get it eventually because you've done a lot, Doc.
Yeah. Yeah. Cystic fibrosis, thought to be one of the most terrible for not only the baby born with it, but all the family and everything. It disrupted everything. And I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis at the um, primate center, Yerkes Primate Center in Atlanta, Georgia, where I went after I did my 10-year study and got my book, The Disease of Exotic Animals. Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. Well,
This beast is heavy.
well, that book covers about 10,000 autopsies over 10 years, and it sold for $25,000 a piece. $25,000 a piece. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, okay, because it showed that there were no genetically transmitted diseases. And today you can get them for $900, $1,500, $2,000, and they're pretty beat up when you get them at that price. But we're talking about 19 what 19 1976. 1976. What, what's
1983 is what the
19,
book says right here
that's when it was printed. Yeah.
when it's printed.
Okay. And so we have a lot of experience, with thousands of diseases. And we're coming up. We have another one coming up. I can't give you the details yet, but in about 2 weeks, Rebecca and I have a great story coming up because we have found the cause, prevention, cure of another one thought to be a genetic series of diseases. And so this is really going to shake up the world. This next one coming up in a couple of weeks. So be awake because it's going to shake the world. Okay. I don't want to give any information now. Today,
Dr. Wallach, do you mind if I read the dedication?
oh, please do.
It's in this. This is from Dr. Wallach. He says, to Josephine, my late wife and best friend, and to my children, Jessica, Jennifer, Stephen, and Jeremiah, who cheerfully gave support and encouragement over the years. And they still do, Doc.
Yes.
All these years, and they still cheer you on and help to promote the work.
And they do, they do a lot of the gut work. You and I can't be everywhere, so we have to have an army getting out there. And we have over the years built an army based on what's in that book and based on what's in the epigenetics book. And for the Black community, we have Black Gene Lies. Okay. And then one of my favorite books is Hell's Kitchen, because it goes to the actual transfer of things from 3,000 years of history to recently. What happened was Hell's Kitchen, for 3,000 years, people were using wood and coal as fuel, and they're taking the ashes and putting them in their food as a spice and putting them in the gardens as a fertilizer. And when you burn the wood and the trees and the coal, there was the minerals that they got out of the soil. Okay. And so the food plants and the diet would give us those minerals. Well, once we went to electricity, suddenly now there was no more minerals in our food. And so suddenly we got all these diseases nobody ever heard before. And this is where the doctors, they didn't know what they were, so they said they were genetic. That's where the genetic thing came in. It was like 1831 or something like that. Okay. And so that's one of my favorites is the switch, because you think about it. In those days, slaves would live to be 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. The plantation owners would live to be 40, 50, 60 because they were eating good stuff. But the slaves are eating all the ashes from the wood stoves, okay, and getting all the minerals. That was the difference. And so these are the sort of things we learn by going through and looking at all the autopsies and printings of newspaper articles and famous people and so forth. Why did rich, famous people die in their 40s and 50s, and the slaves were living to be 100? And slaves were being mistreated. Well, that's because they're being forced to eat the wood ashes, the coal ashes, which was not a bad thing, it was a good thing, because that's where we had been getting our nutrition. Plants only need 3 minerals, we need 60. And so that's why we have the 90 for life. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 minerals, and 3 fatty acids. And we have the flip chart, which goes into the what's going on here. 90 for life, Dr. Wallach's 90 for life crusade to save humanity and the world. Okay. And it's one of those things where I met Rebecca, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now?
It's been I think 5 years ago that we first met. Yes.
Okay. And of course, when we met, she was 45 years old and 120 pounds overweight. Okay. And she's on page 60 of this flip chart. A great picture of her then. Okay. 5 years ago, and a great picture of her now. Okay. And so we are very, very thankful that she chose to stay with us. And she is performing great things on diseases and obesity and all kinds of stuff. I mean, to go 120 pounds overweight, and now she's, will be on, she should be on the cover of Playboy magazine.
No, no, no. You're funny. But Dr. Wallach, before we get into that, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm getting all these notes, LOL, 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 from people that know me. You're funny, Doc. With Hell's Kitchen,
Mhm.
do you think that might have been the start of when obesity even started rising?
Oh, yes, I agree with you. That's when obesity started. Now, there was always a few people who were obese because it always came down to what they ate, what they didn't eat. And there was choices, or they were forced by their finances and how they were able to eat and so forth. But the people who were getting, like the Hunzas, they live up in the Himalayan mountains. They don't have any doctors in Hunza land, okay, in the Himalayan mountains. But their average life expectancy is 120. We have all the best doctors in the world. Just ask them, okay? And we spend $260 billion a year in America, $260 billion a year just to treat obesity, okay? And in Hunza, they're going to spend $1 because there's nobody there obese, because they're all getting these minerals from the mountains, the glaciers grinding up the rocks and stuff up in the mountains, and the water coming down from the mountains is what they call glacial milk. Remember in the old Bible, in the Old Testament, the people who lived the longest came from the lands growing with milk and honey?
Yep.
It wasn't cow's milk or goat's milk or camel's milk. It was glacial milk they were talking about, because the water coming down from the top of the mountains that had all these minerals in it looked white like milk. And that's what they were talking about. We said, where did these people come from? And they're living to be 120. Well, they came from the land flowing with milk and honey. It wasn't cow's milk, goat's milk, or camel milk, or anything like that. It was glacial milk that they were talking about. And nobody else figured that out except us. So we're very proud of that. Put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And that's why we are where we're at today. I'm just so very proud of all our team. And you're going to have a big, big part of today's presentation.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I have people out on YouTube wanting to know where to get the flip chart, and you can get the flip chart at drjwallach.com as well. Or when you go there, if you're not comfortable doing the ordering online, go ahead and call their number. That number is 619-420-2435. Again, 619-420-2435. So, yes.
I have a toll-free number, 1-800-755-4656, 1-800-755-4656. And this flip chart will blow your mind, of course. In summary, on page 60 is Rebecca's story. The second sentence tells it all. Okay, at age 45, she was 120 pounds overweight. And then we have in there all the things that she began to do. And it's just a wonderful story. And it shows her, okay, and her big weight at the top of the page, and it shows her now at the bottom of the page. So
Well, Full disclosure, Dr. Wallach, that picture was not at my heaviest because I was on the back side of the camera. I did not want a picture of myself at that time of my life. So
Mm.
I was the photographer, always taking the pictures. So that picture, I had already lost about 20 pounds in that picture, but was still 100 pounds overweight. So it has been quite a journey, Dr. Wallach, that I struggled with for a very long time, which is why I really have a passion about helping people with weight, because they make it so difficult, Dr. Wallach. They tell people that it's genetic, it's not their fault, that's just the way it is. Well, I'm living proof that that's incorrect. And yes, partly it is my fault because of the food choices I was making, but then I didn't know that the food choices I was making were incorrect because I was following this food pyramid and what was said to be healthy and doing things organically, less processed foods, which now with keto diet, there's all these different processed foods that are not a good way to do a diet plan. Keto, yes, but the standard keto diet, Dr. Wallach, no, because it's full of you had all those dead lambs from nitrate poisoning that you found. It was nitrate poisoning. And what do they use to cure our lunch meats, folks? Nitrates,
Nitrate.
nitrates. So then we wonder why we have thyroid issues. Is it because of the nitrites, Dr. Wallach?
Yeah, well, that can suppress thyroid function, surely. And that's one of my papers I wrote and got published, and got all kinds of awards for that because the farmers were losing all their lambs and calves and everything like that because they were using the nitrate fertilizers, and they were washing into their drinking water and all this kind of stuff. And they all just throwing up their hands saying, we don't know why. I just did a little biochemistry in their blood and their tissues and things, and then compared that with laboratory animals having also high exposure to nitrates, and sure enough, that was it. And so all these things are just simple nutritional deficiencies or nutritional excesses. And when you have both, a combination of nutritional excess and nutritional deficiencies, this is when you're really in trouble. This is when you're really in trouble. And so this is why we say Hell's Kitchen tells you to switch from wood and coal as fuel, where we're getting our minerals for 3,000 years, to electricity, where we're not getting any minerals. Okay. And then the Wallach Revolution, okay, goes into one of those things that, yeah, there you go. It tells the story, but people need to know to add 25 to 50 healthy years to their life. And of course, the same thing is true for the Black community, but they wanted something for the Black community. So we came out with a book, Black Gene Lies. There are no genetic diseases in the Black community, but these two books, The Wallach Revolution and Black Gene Lies, would be two great books to go together in a science class in schools that are primarily populated by Black people. Okay, and so the book, The Wallach Revolution and Black Gene Lies, can add 25 to 50 healthful years to their life. And so let's keep that information flowing out there. We have 23 books. We have another one coming along here.
Yep, 24 if you count the flip chart.
I'm sorry?
You have 24.
24. You have to count the flip chart. Yeah. Well, the flip chart's going to get a little bigger by a couple of pages. Okay. Because we're going to put this story. Okay. Which I can't tell you yet. But it's going to have the story in it. And I'm very, very proud of this story. And then this is a whole new thing. This is another disease that the doctors think are just genetic. And we've proven that it's not genetic. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And when this comes out, it's going to freak everybody out. And we're talking 2 weeks or less, right?
Pressure's on. Thanks, Doc. Yes. So we are working on getting that all put together. We've got all the research we're putting into, a presentation, and including a video that has been put together by some people within our longevity family that really have a passion to help get that truth out. So
And we have the laboratory animals, which we've reversed the process in already. I mean, I'm not going to tell which ones they are, but we have laboratory animals that have these diseases, and we can prevent them and get rid of them in these animals. We started working in people, and sure enough, it works in people. So this is why this article is coming out. It'll be more book stuff, okay, in the flip chart, and also that's okay. I'm very excited about this. Thank you, Rebecca, for all you do. She does work at 10 people.
well, and the laboratory, Dr. Wallach, is this big green earth, blue and green, wherever you're looking at it from. Folks, we are living in the laboratory. So let's be the best that we absolutely can be and make sure that we share with others as well. So I just want to thank all of our followers for sharing our program. And as a thank you to sharing our program, I invite you to go to dwdgiveaway.com, dwdgiveaway.com. And as you share the information, you can sign up and earn points, and I will be sending you thank you gifts for sharing that information. Now, if you are here because somebody shared this program with you, make sure that you get back with that person and tell them thank you for sharing this information with you. Because folks, knowledge is power. And when you feed the body the knowledge, or feed the brain the body needs, the knowledge the body needs, then the body itself as a whole can work better, including the brain and keeping your thoughts straight. But as you said, Dr. Wallach, I've got a lot of projects going on thanks to you, my team, family. And I love the fact that we are able to get more and more information out to everybody all around the world on all different platforms, including we got an email this morning saying we are now live on Roku TV. So those of you who have Roku TV, just do a search Daily with Doc and you will find our channel there. And I think we already have 50 episodes that are listed. So feel free to share the channel with others and just glean the information. You can watch it over and over, share it with others, and be an empowered individual. Now, if this information is empowering you enough to where you want to get involved, whether it's for your own health or for the health of yourself, your family, your community, together we can reach around the world. Come join our crusade. As the flip chart says, Dr. Wallach's 90 crusade to save humanity and the world. And that's where we want to invite you to be part of that crusade. So get with the person that shared this program with you and say you want to be a part. If there is no one to thank, I do have a team available to take your call at 855-949-3377 and click on Daily with Doc and from your options there and get connected with one of our certified holistic health coaches. Now, this is for those who have never spoken to anybody about longevity and who have not tried the products yet. If you have tried the products yet, get back with the person that shared this program with you or who shared about the longevity products with you and make sure that you get connected with them. Okay. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's specifically go into weight loss and breaking this fad of up and down, because I did a little bit of that up and down, and every time I went up, I went higher up than I went down, which is where my 60 pounds after gaining 60 pounds after my youngest son came on within just 2 months. When we're talking about weight gain and obesity, there are some factors that can play into it. For me, there was a lot of hormonal factors. So, Dr. Wallach, share about those hormonal factors and what's the underlying cause to them.
Well, the hormonal factors deal with what you're eating, what you're not eating, what you're giving your glands, what you're not giving your glands that produce hormones. Okay, and just on that, Jean Calment, a French woman, okay, in 1995, she died at 122 years and 164 days. 122 years and 164 days. Now that is, and it was well documented. She had teams of people coming out there going through all her records and this, that, and the other, and proving that that was her age. Okay. And it's one of those things where we're learning what it is she and her community did. 122 years, 164 days. So that's a modern record for the Western civilized nations. Okay. So I think that 100 is certainly within everybody's reach. Get rid of the bad stuff to the good stuff. So that's kind of where we need to go there. And when you're deficient in nutrients, you're hungry. Your body tells you, look for that nutrient. Well, the body can't tell you which nutrient's missing. It just says there's something missing. It tells you to start eating more, looking for that nutrient. And this is why people gain weight when they're nutritionally deficient, not calorie deficient, but nutritionally deficient. Okay. And so that's the basic root cause of obesity. When people are nutritionally deficient, they will eat and eat. And mama slaps you on the head and say, what are you doing there, Frankie? You just ate 3 meals here. What's going on? I don't know. I'm still hungry. Well, that's because they're missing nutrients. Their bodies tell them, find that nutrient. Okay, but the body won't tell you which nutrient it is. Well, this is why we came up with the books, The Wallach Revolution, Hell's Kitchen, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's all in your head. Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, on and on and on. 24 books coming up now with this one coming up with the weight loss thing. So it's one of those things where when you are hungry all the time, your body is looking for nutrients, not calories, but nutrients. And people make the mistake when they feel hungry, they'll go eat a cookie or a bag of chips or something like that, or drink a couple of soft drinks. And they'll, for a brief period of time, they'll be satiated for an hour or so because they're giving your body some calories, but they'll be hungry right away again and looking for more food because they didn't get what the body was telling them to look for.
So what about those foods being triggers to eat more and more?
Well, yeah,
Because
well,
that was my thing. I didn't have this, you know, have to eat. But when I did eat something like that, I couldn't turn it off.
what happens there is you eat something, your body releases hormones and drops your blood sugar. You're starving. Your body says you're starving. Eat more. Get that blood sugar back up there. And it's kind of confusing to everybody because they think it's just something as simple as diabetes. Well, diabetes is a nutritional deficiency disease. Okay. And it's one of those things where you don't want sugar, you want all the nutrients necessary so your body can metabolize sugar and put sugar in the right places at the right time so you're not hungry. When you're sugar deficient, you're hungry. I'll repeat that. When you're sugar deficient, you're hungry. That's why people, I don't know why I'm eating 5 meals a day now. Okay. Well, that's because you don't have enough of these nutrients, primarily minerals. Okay. They're required 60 essential minerals to relieve that hunger, that craving. And it goes away and stays away. But you have to constantly have these minerals every day. It can't be just once a month or once a week or once a day. It's got to be every meal has got to have these minerals in it. And so this is why we have the 90 for Life program. We're trying to make it easy for you. It's kind of like, do you just give a horse hay? No, they need minerals. They always get that trace mineral salt block. Okay. So that they can convert the grass and the grains into usable food, and then they'll be looking pretty good and be able to function and do their job. But if they're just eating grass, you know, or hay and not getting any minerals, they're in trouble.
So one thing, Dr. Wallach, that I have been um, told is that there are things like alfalfa that are high in minerals. But from your research, if the minerals are not in the ground that the grass or the alfalfa or any grown food is grown in, the minerals aren't there either in
That's
the plant,
correct.
right?
That's correct. Now, alfalfa only needs 3 minerals. Now, if there's 10 minerals in the soil, it'll absorb all 10 minerals. But alfalfa only needs 3.
To look
Okay.
lush and
Yeah.
beautiful and healthy.
Well,
So,
and it's a wider spectrum of food. Okay. Um, these factors, these food factors called minerals. And so when you look at the world and you find places like Huns where people live a long time, okay, and you look at a place like France where life expectancy in France is like 100 and um, excuse me, let me
it's
back
up
up.
there.
Yeah, it's what 80
It's
something.
up there. Okay. Which is still up there.
Yeah, it's 80 something. Okay, in France, but Jean Calment lived to be 122 years, 164 days. So was that a genetic thing? No, I guarantee you, she either lived on a plot of land that had a big deposit of minerals for whatever reason. It would flood every year and get the minerals from the river water, or maybe it had a volcano or something where she was getting those minerals. She was getting minerals, okay, and that's why she lived to be 122 years, 164 days. And so it's one of those things where we know how, where, what, and why, and it's a matter of if you give your family all 90 essential nutrients, they're more likely to live to be in their 80s, 90s, or 100 than if they're just eating food. Because just eating food, the farmers aren't going to put 90 nutrients in the soil because you can have 90 essential nutrients. They're going to put into the soil like nitrates, which grow the corn and the alfalfa and the tomatoes and stuff, and it'll be nice and big and beautiful. But the tomatoes only needed 3 minerals.
Well, we need a lot more than 3, Dr. Wallach. So we talked a little bit about hormones. We talked a little bit about sugar. What would be your recommendation for somebody that is looking to lose some weight in a healthy way and maintain an optimal weight?
Well, again, this is why we have so many books, um, because people, including the book Hell's Kitchen, and the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie, okay, including the book Rare Earths Been Cures. It's an
So
endless cycle.
nutritionally though, you have a program
Mm-hmm.
that you recommend.
Okay, I'll let you tell me which program you want.
Well, what worked for me, Dr. Wallach, is I went with the Pig Pack Plus, which had all the nutrients in it. And this was before really learning about the powders and the healthy body packs. But now we have the healthy blood sugar pack, which has those 90 essential nutrients, plus some help for within the Sweeties product
Mm-hmm.
for controlling blood sugar. And we have products that are good for hormonal support as well. My favorite, Dr. Wallach, is the Woman's Hormone Balancer. And because we have been programmed to think that a full meal fills a 12-inch plate, folks, that if you were to calculate the calories that you put on a plate that most people eat at dinner time, especially if they go out to eat, you're looking at over 1,800 calories. Now, what I have been taught and what worked for me is keeping my calories under 1,200 for the day, not just one meal, but for the day, and taking the 90 essential nutrients. And what helped me to do that is using one of the shakes that the Longevity company has come up with, as they have several different meal replacement shakes. But the one that I love has 24 grams of protein that's digestible. It also includes enzymes to help to break down the foods that we do put in our body, including the proteins that are in the Fit Shake. And it has some vitamins in there. But that's not enough. You need to have those 90 essential nutrients on board. Make sure they are consistent each and every day, which includes the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Osteo FX, your EFA Plus. Folks,
And
don't
60
forget the
minerals.
EFA Plus.
And the 60 minerals.
Well, that's in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Osteo FX. Then you've got your 3 essential fatty acids in the EFA Plus. So that includes your vitamins, your minerals, your EFAs, and then you add something to help with blood sugar, because too much sugar in the blood converts to fat. We don't want that, but we do want to use fat as energy, not sugar, not carbohydrates, because they convert to fat. So eliminate the carbohydrates, eliminate the sugars, and allow the body to then use the fat that's already there as energy. And something else that I added that helps me do that, because it boosts the metabolism, is the Power Up. So that is another product that is offered by Longevity. And that's a lot of what I did. Oh, well, I love the keto hot chocolate too, Dr. Wallach. Oh, can't forget the keto hot chocolate. But folks, there's a lot of things that you can do that are tasty, that do contribute to a healthy diet and intake that allows your body to release the weight in a non-invasive, non-life-threatening way that's gentle and lasting
And economical.
and economical. I mean,
Yeah,
the stuff
remember,
that I cut out of my shopping allowed for the room for me to add that good nutrition.
because spending the $260 billion a year to pay doctors to help us control our body weight, obesity. We spend $260 billion a year paying doctors in America alone just to treat obesity. Okay. And obesity is just a nutritional deficiency. It is not genetic. And doctors say, well, yeah, it's genetic. We have to fight this. And all of the things that doctors give, whether it's surgery or nutrition, they're giving nutrients that relieve symptoms, not necessarily relieving the basic root biochemical problem in the cells. But they're wanting to relieve symptoms very quickly, so the person's happy. Oh my God, I'll never quit this because my symptoms went away in 2 days, and I was suffering from obesity for 10 years, and in 2 days I stopped gaining weight and I lost a couple of pounds. And so this is what gets people all excited. And the medical system has learned that the first thing they want to do is treat the symptoms. The very first thing that the medical system wants to do is treat symptoms to make the patient happy, and then the patient will do anything that the doctor says. Well, we educate people and give them their choice, what they're going to do. And when you look at, we literally have thousands of people around the world who have the same story that Rebecca has. I'll repeat that. We have thousands of people around the world that have the same story Rebecca has on weight loss. Okay, because they take the minerals. Some of them, they just rub them on their bellies and don't even drink them, the
Right.
minerals. Okay, because they absorb the minerals through their skin. And so it's one of those things where there's a basic truth here. And if everybody practices these basic truths, okay, and let's see here, there's something else I wanted to throw in there.
Well,
Okay.
we do have a lot of questions and some statements, and one of them is a statement that I want to ask you about as well, Dr. Wallach, because the medical community is telling us to stay away from fats, and they're telling us to stay away from salt. Can you comment on those?
Okay. Well, when they're telling you to stay away from fat, which is many of the vitamins are hooked to fat. Okay. The fat soluble vitamins are hooked to fat. If you get away all the fat, you can take all the vitamins you want, but you won't absorb them because there's no fat that they need to be absorbed with. Okay. And then the salt, that was the first conscious, proactive supplement that was created. People would boil salt water thousands of years ago and get the salt, and they would go into villages inland and sell them. And when they would get the salt from salt water, they also got these trace minerals, including the ones that are necessary for your thyroid to work. Okay. We're talking about for thyroid, what?
Is it iodine?
Iodine. Very good. You get an A plus. Okay. So when they had people who had a goiter, the big as a cantaloupe, for years, they started using the sea salt being sold inland. And in 3 months' time, their goiter went away that they'd had for 10, 15, 20 years because they were missing the iodine inland. Okay. And that was the very first conscious proactive supplement was salt and the sea salt because it had the iodine in it. And so then people said, well, maybe there's more good things in salt. Well, salt is one of those things that are required for the human body. Every cell in your body, regardless of whether it's your liver, your lungs, your brain, your heart, your kidneys, your muscles, your bones, everything needs salt. And so when a doctor says, oh, no, don't use any salt because it'll cause high blood pressure, that doctor should have his license taken away because they're killing people when they tell you to stay away from salt. Salt has just plain salt, sodium chloride, has two essential nutrients that you can't get anywhere else. Oh, we're called sodium and chloride for your cell health and cell walls working properly and so forth. And it's one of those things where if you're getting all 90 essential nutrients, you got to have salt in there. That's two of the 90, sodium and chloride. Okay. And so this is unimpeachable evidence. You need salt. And again, this is one of those things where, farmers know this for their animals. They put these big red salt blocks out for them, and they'll stand there and lick them for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they'll go out in the field and eat for a couple of days, and then they'll come back and lick that salt block again. They have cravings, and the cow is smart enough to know when they lick that salt, the cravings go away. I find that amazing. Okay,
It works for humans too, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah.
Because I know the more minerals that I take, the fewer cravings that I have. And I love the fact that we have minerals that are in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. There's minerals in the plant-derived minerals themselves, which are
Rebound.
in a liquid form. There's minerals in the Rebound. There are minerals in our mineral caps. For those that like to just take capsules to get their minerals, we have those as well. We have the strawberry kiwi mints. We have cherry mints. The list goes on and on because those minerals, those trace minerals, those elements are part of the foundation and the currency to long life.
Well, let me give you one more story of Pastor Mike Freeman.
Well, yeah, tell us real quick because we've got questions and you got to go. Go for it.
Okay, well, Pastor Mike Freeman in Maryland was in the hospital in a coma for 2.5 months. And one of his people who were in his church, Linda Tyler, is one of our distributors up there. And she called me and says, is there anything we can do for Pastor Mike? They're unplugging him and saying he's going to die in a couple of hours. Anything we can do? I said, does he have an IV? No, they took that away. What about a gastric tube? No, they took that away. Okay, do you have any access to our plant minerals, liquid plant minerals? Yeah, I got 3 quarts in the car. I said, go get them. Rub half a teacup full of the plant minerals on his chest, his upper belly, lower belly, 3 times a day. Also rub them between his shoulder blades, his upper back and lower back 3 times a day, and call me in a couple of days. Well, she called me the next day, and she said, it's only been 24 hours, and he woke up this morning after 2.5 months in a coma because he was getting those liquid minerals absorbing through his skin. All his cells started working again, and he shaved, and he's ready to go to work. Now, that was 10 years ago, and he runs around the world telling his story. Okay, yeah. Now that's about as good as it gets.
That's the power of minerals, folks. So Dr. Wallach, let's get to a couple questions. And the first one, Dave would like to know if a navel hernia can be reversed, or what can you do to support that's a connective tissue issue, isn't it? A navel hernia?
Okay, well, a navel hernia is a breakdown of the tissues where the belly button is. The navel, okay, your belly button. And it's one of those things where when you have nutritional deficiencies, the muscles begin to shrink, the skin begins to shrink, and opens up that hole there, which has been closed since you've been a baby, and your intestines start coming out, and your body fat starts coming out through there. That's what a hernia is. Okay, so what you got to do is put some bricks underneath the feet of your bed. So you're sleeping with your heads a little bit lower than your feet. Okay, you need to get one of these belts. Okay, it has elastic on it and holds your intestines and the fat and everything in that hole. And then you take the 90 essential nutrients, okay, appropriate for the body weight, and heal those muscles, heal that skin, heal those connective tissues, and it'll close that hole. And within a couple of months, that hernia will be gone.
So the products that you would recommend for that, Dr. Wallach, I'm looking, if I recall right, the brain and heart pack, 2 body weight. So it's 1 pack is sufficient for 100 pounds. So if you're 200 pounds, you need 2 packs with 2 full doses of the everything in that brain and heart pack. Plus the MSM Ultra, which is all these are longevity products, folks. It's not something that you can just run down to the corner store and buy picks and bits and pieces of, because we don't cherry pick. Longevity has put the formulas together where they work synergistically together. So the MSM Ultra, 2 times a day for somebody under 150 pounds, or three times a day for somebody over. And then there's the collagen peptides, which would be 1 scoop twice a day, which is going to be 2 canisters, or the glucogel, which is one of my favorite, and that comes in capsules. And I was taking 3 times a day, which is 2 bottles, Dr. Wallach,
And the glucogel.
because that's of the glucogel capsules. Yep.
Okay, now that's a product that I made because up until that time, everybody was using bone broth. They're boiling bones every weekend at the end of the week, and they would drink that and they'd get their collagen that way. And so companies didn't want to spend money coming out with a collagen product because everybody's using the bone broth. Well, we came out with the glucogel, which is made from beef cartilage. And then we came out with the glucogel, which has 3 other sources. It has cows and goats and sheep. And
So the collagen peptides have 5 different sources of collagen.
that's correct.
Yes.
So I use them both.
All right. So do I, actually, because I like the mineral sticks. I put those in my drinks, which has a full dose of collagen and a full dose of minerals. So mineral sticks, STX, folks. Dr. Wallach, let's go to Phyllis, who has her hand up and bringing in a question from one of the different platforms. Phyllis, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. This
Hey.
is, I know, one of your favorite topics, mine too. Joe on YouTube has a question about pica and whether it could be a possible cause of alcoholism. And then I have a second question after that.
Okay. Well, pica is when people eat weird things. They'll eat dirt. Okay. They eat weird stuff. They eat things they don't even like because they get a little bit of benefit from cravings. Okay. Pica is a craving that a standard meal won't satisfy. And so they eat weird stuff. And that behavior is called pica. So you take your 90 essential nutrients, stay away from the bad stuff. And guess what? The pica goes away in a couple of days.
And what would be helpful for someone who is struggling with alcoholism?
Is it the same person?
It's the same person asking about this, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, alcoholism, again, is related to a pica thing. They get sort of instant benefit from the alcohol and for a couple of hours, and then suddenly now they have pica again. Then they'll have another shot of whiskey or a couple of beers or whatever. And so that's how they get into alcoholism.
I know. Oh, go ahead, please.
But they need to take Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. They need to take the glucogel, the collagen peptides, Rebound or sports drink, and the pica will go away.
And I know I've also heard you say if somebody has a craving of any kind, to take an ounce of minerals, or they could take the mineral sticks in the water just whenever they feel that craving.
Yeah, exactly. That's again, when you have pica and cravings, it's caused by mineral deficiency. That's why pregnant women are legendary for having cravings. Okay, because the embryo is sucking up all the nutrition and they haven't adapted to increase their nutrition, not calories, but increase nutrition when they're pregnant. Okay. Now, this is why you get people in some areas of the world where they have lots of minerals in the soil, like the Hunsas, okay, because glaciers are grinding up all the rocks and the water's coming down from the mountains with all these minerals in it, glacial milk. They don't have cravings, but they live to be 120. Our life expectancy in the United States is 75, I think, 75. And we rank 47th in the world. The United States, America ranks 47th in the world when it comes to aging, longevity. We're not even close to number one. Okay. We're number 40, 47. And that's because we are minerally deficient. We're paying the price at an early age.
Becca, do we have time for one more quickie?
One more quick question.
All right,
Yes.
this is Hattie in our Zoom chat today is wondering about protein. She says women want to build muscle and are being told that they need 100 to 140 grams of protein, I assume, per day. What are your thoughts on that? The importance of protein and how much?
Well, there's books and books and books that are going to tell you how much protein you need, but you need protein at least twice a day. Okay. And it could be meat, it could be eggs, it could be safe grains. Okay, have some protein in them, not a lot, but some. Okay, safe protein, safe um, plant.
So the grains that have no gluten,
Yeah,
right, Doctor?
no gluten. Yeah, the grains that have no gluten, no wheat, butter, or oats, or
No
buckwheat.
buckwheat.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
Becca.
Dr. Wallach. Thank you, Phyllis, for bringing that question to the floor. And we're going to go one more. AJ, go ahead and join us here on. There we go. What question do you have for Dr. Wallach? And then I have one more to finish off the show.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. How are you?
Okay, sir. How can we help you today?
Well, we have a woman, Deborah. She's wondering about weight loss and dealing with inflammation in the knees.
Okay. The weight loss, I think we've covered that, but you want to tell what you do, Rebecca, for weight loss?
So the weight loss, you're going to go with, let's go with the Healthy Body Blood Sugar Pack and include the Fit Shake so that you're doing at least one meal a day of the Fit Shake. It's okay to do 2 or more, which I also want to address another question. Somebody's asking about your favorite meal bars, Dr. Wallach. And I am going to put together, I'm putting another thing on my list of things to do, but I am going to be putting together a recipe collection of meal bars that include incorporating the longevity fit shake, the meal replacement shakes, some yummy meal replacement bars that you can make and freeze and take on the go. So that answers another question that has been asked, but also for the inflammation, that MSM Ultra and the glucogel working together and taking out those bad foods that Dr. Wallach mentions. No wheat, barley, rye, oats, no fried foods, no bottled oils,
No
no
buckwheat.
sugar, no buckwheat. And because of the phagopyrines that are phototoxic that actually burn the skin, so you take them in, you burn the intestines too, folks, okay? People ask me, well, why if it's gluten-free, how come we can't take it? That is why. There's so many things on the foods that are all around us that create inflammation. And sugar and carbohydrates are 2 of the major ones. So go to dailywithdoc.com, look for the Dr. Wallach's good foods, bad foods list in the menu. And also for the weight loss, add that power up. Helps to boost the metabolism. And I think that's, I mean, if you've got pain on the joints, the CM cream is amazing, where you can use that topically for a couple hours of relief at a time while.
Yeah, and the collagen peptides and the glucogel added to that. Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
AJ, do you
both.
have another question?
That's it for me for now. Of course, I got billions of other questions for Doc, which we'll save for tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All
God bless.
right. Thank you, AJ. And Dr. Wallach, the final question. Is there a difference between taking the capsules or the liquid? And can you take them on an empty stomach?
Well, it depends. If you're out and about, I'd take the capsules with me. When I'm at home, I do the liquid. So you have all of them available depending on the situation you're in. It's one of those things where, for instance, the I-26, they have the chewables, they have the capsules, they have the powder. And I like the chewables because I'm out and about so much. I just put a couple in my pocket, and when it's time, I take them. And I don't have to worry about powder dropping all over the place and capsules floating away or whatever. And so I like the French vanilla I-26. Okay. Chewables, they're soft chewables. They taste good and they're
But
convenient.
for them, and one thing that we want to remember every day, plenty of water. And you can add the plant-derived minerals into your water if you're on the go, no matter where you're going, just add a splash of plant-derived minerals. In this one, I have the mineral sticks and also Rebound. I have this one. I have my Tangy Tangerine, my OsteoFX, and a scoop of collagen peptides in here. Just nourish your body all day long, folks. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have a nourished body that then can function at its optimal best because it has what it needs to do so. Dr. Wallach, your
I
final
just want to
words.
say, okay, the final words is I want you to take better care of yourself than you do your car. Everybody worries about the gasoline, the oil, okay, the transmission fluid, the brake fluid, all that kind of stuff. Got to be high quality, blah, 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 blah. And then they eat junk. They don't take supplements. So you have to treat yourself at least as well as you're treating your car. So you want to, get the maximum benefit the good Lord made our body to perform. It does 90 essential nutrients. Okay. And again, get this flip chart because we have all these famous people. We have these famous people who we have helped. Okay. Their stories are in here. Okay. Their stories are in here in this flip chart. And these stories tell you what it is that they did. Okay. And
Yeah, they followed your advice, Dr. Wallach. So it shares the conditions that they were struggling with, either themselves or somebody in their family. They followed Dr. Wallach's advice, and they are or have given us permission to use their story to say this works.
yeah,
It absolutely
it's in the
works.
flip chart. Okay. And, we're talking about some famous people here. Okay.
And Dr. Wallach, you don't have time to go through all that whole list.
Okay, we'll do
So
it again another day.
we will go through that list, folks. And even Anne here with us in Zoom says she's taken the glucogel, the MSM, and they have helped her achy, cracking knees so much. So I don't even have cracking knees anymore, and I'm so thankful for that. But folks, you have been watching Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes. I hope that you gained some information from this program that you can use to help yourself, your family, and your community as well. So you didn't hear this information for no reason. So let's use it and help build stronger communities. I just want to thank Dr. Wallach for being here with us today and sharing his time and his schedule and his knowledge. At 84 years, he's still out there strong, sharing the information that he has found from his research and finding so many conditions that people have or are born with for absolutely no reason other than nutritional deficiencies. If I could get my team on with me, I just cannot do this without them. As I mentioned a little bit ago, we are now on Roku. So we're on almost all of the different social media platforms and going strong. And now we're hitting your TV as well. And I'm just so excited because this team and others who are not here with us are all part of making that happen. And it is you, the followers, the supporters, who are sharing this information and giving us that encouragement to go bigger, stronger, faster. I want to say thank Phyllis for doing all of the chat in the chat today, and Sherry also putting that information in the chat. bringing in those questions from YouTube. Thank you, Phyllis. Got Sherry, who helps with the setup and making sure that we're streaming to the different areas and also putting the stuff into the chat. And we have Albert, who is helping let people in and looking through the chat and keeping an eye on the cameras just to make sure that it stays a safe G-rated place. And we have AJ, who has been very instrumental in helping get us out on these platforms and on TV. And I want to give a special shout out to my marketing team, my new graphics team. If you haven't noticed, we've got some new branding coming with our new TV channel, and that is IF Creative and Ivan and his team. You are fantastic. So folks, if you're looking for a marketing company and you're wanting to really make a visual impact, go to ifcreative.com and reach out to them, as they have helped a lot of big companies, and I'm excited that they reached out and want to help us as well. So thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Again, get back with the person that shared this program with you and thank them. Tell them what you liked best about the program. If there's no one to thank, you can go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option, send us an email, sign up for our email list, or if you like to just talk on the phone and speak with a real person, folks, one that cares, one that is certified in Dr. Wallach's research and his solutions, call 855-949-3377. Until tomorrow, bye for now.